Come on, hit it.
Hello viewers, it's Tammy2009 and I'm finally back with another video. So in my last video we took a look at the Rarity Plush from Symbiote Studios. But now we've got two more plushies left. We got Starlight Glimmer and my least favorite pony in the entire show, Twilight Sparkle. Now there are worse characters than Twilight. She isn't entirely the worst character because believe me, there are far worse characters than her. She's just considered, like, to be the low end of the stick for the main six. Like, she's just the very low. Like, now, I've already talked about Twilight a few times in my 3 printed pony videos, but I don't think I've did that good of a job, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I don't really know what there's to say about Twilight Sparkle. I think that's the reason why those videos turned out so poorly, in my opinion. But hopefully now that I've got this new Twilight plush, I can hopefully try to get my points done better. And what I will say is, there are some good things about Twilight Sparkle, and hopefully that's what I'm going to talk about here. So first, let's talk about how exactly that we got this plush. So, I mean, it was around the time I got Twilight for Christmas, as well as Starlight, Rarity, and Applejack. Originally, it was both Rarity and Applejack, but when they released Starlight Glimmer, I know I had to put her on my list. And luckily enough, we got her for Christmas, and this is my favorite thing I've gotten. Now, Twilight Sparkle wasn't exactly a character on my Christmas list, and she wasn't a plush I wasn't sure if I wanted. Like, now don't get me wrong, this is a very nice plush, but did I really need it is the question, because Twilight is my least favorite pony. I mean, I know most people would probably be saying that, well, she's a very important character because she's the star of the show, and she is part of the main six, and the main six would not be complete if I didn't have this pony. So, I mean, it is sort of nice, but I still am sort of contemplating on this, and I'm just kind of mixed, if I'm being completely honest, because on the one hand, she is a cute plush. They did put a lot of effort into her, but at the same time, I don't really think she was very necessary to me, because, like, as you know, I love Starlight more than Twilight, and I personally think every other character is better than Twilight Sparkle. Like, I'm gonna try to get my points out and talk about all the negatives and the positives of Twilight, and then I'll talk about the plushie. So, I mean, like I said, it's a very nice plush, but to me, I just think Twilight is the weakest character of the entire show. Now, if you do like Twilight Sparkle, I do respect your opinion fully, and if you could, like, describe her character personality better than I can, please tell me in the comments below, because I think Twilight has the least amount of layers to her character. Like, I think her friends have more depth than her. To me, Twilight is basically just an audience insert. We're not supposed to identify with Twilight, but imagine ourselves in her hooves. I mean, I really can't think of any other, like, main protagonists that are weak, because whenever people talk about certain shows, they'll always say that the side characters are the favorites. But for me personally, every time I look at a certain show, the main character ends up being my favorite. If you ask me who my favorite character in Thomas is, obviously Thomas. If you were to ask me who my favorite character was in Transformers, I'd probably say Optimus Prime. If you were to ask me who my favorite character was in Bob the Builder, personally, I would say all of them.
What about Cars?
Well, Lightning McQueen. I mean, I don't know why the main protagonist is always my favorite character, but what I like about MLP is that the main protagonist isn't my favorite for once, and it's actually Rainbow Dash. Even though she's considered a side character, she's still a very important character to the main six. As you know, Starlight is my favorite side character in general, but Rainbow Dash is the best one for me. So, why do I think Twilight is uninteresting? Well, personally, I never really cared for her when I first watched the show, because remember, Starlight was actually the first character who introduced me to the show. I mean, Twilight does act okay most of the times. Like, she is... Sometimes she'll have good appearances, sometimes she'll be just okay at the very best, but I mean, she does have her fair of unlikable moments. Like, she does act pretty immature, and sometimes she is a bit of a jerk. Like, I mean, I will say Season 6 is Twilight Sparkle's best season, and I'll explain later on, before I talk about it, after I talk about her character flaws. So, when we first meet Twilight Sparkle, she's just there really talking to Spike and being sent to Ponyville, since she used to live in Canterlot, so she can make new friends, even though she had, like, 4 other friends her 3 friends, Twinkle, Shine, Minuet, and Lemon Hearts, and her old childhood friend, Moon Dancer, who she abandoned. So that just rubbed me the wrong direction there. I mean, they did make up for that by making a season 5 episode, Amending Fences, which is my favorite episode. One of my favorite episodes in general. I know it's not because of Twilight. It's because of the other ponies. Like, every time I look at this show, I think the other characters are more entertaining than the main protagonist herself. Like, I don't know what it is about Twilight that does make her basic, in my opinion. Like, her one character trait is that she's the princess of friendship. She does a lot of studying. She mainly just goes on adventures with her friends, and she does have her fair of epic moments, like fighting against Lord T-Rex in the season 4 finale.
Lord who?
Lord T-Rex, the centaur.
Okay.
And he really just blew up her entire Golden Oak library. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty dark.
What did he blow it up with?
I don't know, like, it just blew up.
Like, literally blew up.
Like, literally exploded. Now, My Little Pony does have a bit of dark humor, but I can get past that for everything else, like, because there are a lot of other good moments. So, and then when Twilight meets all her friends, Applejack, Rarity, Twilight, Applejack, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, at first she's pretty skeptical. Like, sometimes she is very skeptical with some things, like, she isn't really sure if she wants to be their friend. Like, she doesn't even know she needs friends. Like, sometimes she'll, like, say she can do things on her own, and sometimes she does act a bit skeptical. But when Nightmare Moon is revealed, like, Twilight and her friends have to save Princess Celestia, so Twilight goes on the adventures and then comes to terms with her new friends and actually gets along with them very nice and realizes that they're very helpful. So she's allowed to stay in Canterlot, in Ponyville, so that she can hang out with her new friends. Now, I do think Princess Celestia is a bit of an okay mentor, if I'm being completely honest, because she really wasn't there for Twilight when she was older. Like, when Twilight became an adult, she had to be sent away.
Why?
I don't know, so she can make new friends.
Oh, to where?
To Ponyville, but I mean, there's a moment later on in the show where Princess Celestia explains her fears from sending Twilight away, which is something Twilight goes through similarly with Starlight.
Gotcha.
And there's some moments where Twilight does act a bit mean sometimes. Like, in the My Little Pony movie, she basically yells at Pinkie Pie for whatever reason. And then in the season 2 finale, she's not very particularly thrilled that her brother is being married to her foal sitter, Cadence.
Or like babysitter? That's cute.
Yeah. So basically, Twilight gets mad and starts yelling at Cadence for being evil, which, spoiler alert, that was true because Cadence was Queen Chrysalis in disguise. I mean, that was a bit of a fair reason, but she didn't get away that easily, like, because Shining Armor did get mad at her and basically called her out. So when Twilight got captured, she rescued Cadence, and the wedding became a success after Queen Chrysalis was defeated. Now, it is a bit of a dark, considering it's a wedding episode, and...
Right?
Like, just to have a villain in there, thrown in there, just to make it more suspenseful. Like, I do love Shining Armor and Cadence, and I hope that one day they do get their own plushies from Symbiote Studios, including Flurry Heart as well. Like, that would be super adorable.
It would be cute.
Yeah. And I think it would be nice to get Twilight Velvet and Nightlight as well, since they are Twilight's parents.
Twilight Velvet?
Yeah, and Nightlight.
That's cute.
Now, if there are other plushies I want them to make, definitely Spike, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, like, go with Twilight Sparkle. I mean, it is nice knowing that they did make Starlight Glimmer. Now, what I do love about Twilight is that she does the best thing in the world. Like, when Starlight Glimmer reforms, they're thinking of what do we do with her, like, because they can't just send her off. So when Starlight says that she's ready to be punished, Twilight Sparkle does the good thing and then makes Starlight Glimmer her own personal pupil. So the biggest reason why I do love season 6, it's not just because of Starlight Glimmer, it's because it's a full circle season, if you know what I'm saying, because Princess Celestia was Twilight.
Right.
As to Starlight is now the new Twilight.
Itself.
I mean, that sort of reminds me of the first local conclusion to the Cars franchise, where Lightning McQueen is the new mentor and Cruz Ramirez is the new race car.
Who was Lightning's mentor?
Doc Hudson.
That's right.
So it's basically like this right here. So Now, I think Twilight and Starlight are an awesome duo together. I mean, they do share a lot in common if you really think about it, because they're both purple. Their names do sound alike.
They got the same horn.
And their key marks do revolve around sparkling things.
Mm-hmm. They're both unicorns.
Yeah, even though Twilight has wings now, which is one thing I loved about Twilight in season 3. And like I said, it's sort of like the same like mother-daughter relationship that Twilight and Celestia had. And what I do wish is that Starlight continued learning friendship lessons in season 7 onwards instead of graduating altogether. Because I think that basically just undoes Twilight's development, like actually being better. Because let's be honest, if season 6 was the conclusion, then Twilight would not be my least favorite pony right now. Because they actually did give her an actual character trait of being a mentor and actually being better than Princess Celestia. Because at least Twilight is there for Starlight and acts very loyal to her. Like, she was like very afraid of sending her away because she did not want to abandon her. But then Princess Celestia basically said the same thing about Twilight, and then Twilight basically said that she will always need Celestia, and Celestia said that Starlight would probably feel the same. So I still love the first like narrative. And at least Starlight does still learn in season 7 through 9, even though she's no longer Twilight's pupil. And I don't understand why they made her graduate. Like, they could have actually had her continue the friendship lessons so that people would get to, like, know her more and possibly like her instead of hate her. So that way Starlight would actually not get much backlash from certain people, even though she reformed and all. So, now there are some funny Twilight Sparkle episodes, like Lesson 0 for sure, since that's the episode where Twilight freaks out about being tardy and then starts going crazy and going through this mental panic state. And now when people talk about bad Twilight Sparkle episodes, they're going to say that A Trivial Pursuit is Twilight's worst episode, since she was so desperate on winning the Trivial Trot and using Pinkie Pie to an advantage and just treating her like dirt. Although there is one funny line where Rainbow Dash says the game is rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, like, I do wish that they could have still, like, kept Twilight as Starlight's mentor so that she wouldn't be my least favorite pony now. Because season 6 actually did give Twilight an actual character trait and didn't just make her, like, as thin as a piece of paper.
Right. One-dimensional.
Like, I mean, she's the most basic in my opinion. I know most of you can probably describe her personality better than I can, like I said. Like, if you do know more about Twilight than I do, please tell me in the comments below if you know what she's supposed to actually be. Like, I know some of you might consider her to be your favorite pony, especially Asian Andrews if you're possibly watching this. Now, I have tried to talk about Twilight a little bit there, because, like, now that I've watched season 6 fully, I do consider Twilight to be a good character, even though season 7 through 9 wasted all of that. For whatever reason the writers had, like, I don't know if they were intentionally trying to make Starlight and Twilight separate from each other, or just, like, have Twilight be dragged down even more, because if Starlight Glimmer didn't exist, then I think the show probably wouldn't have gotten a bit better than, like, how it actually is right now, because I feel like Starlight Glimmer is what the show needed in order to be as amazing as it is. And when people say that they don't like Starlight, it's like saying that they don't like the newer seasons, like season 5 onwards, because people we would say that season 4 would be the perfect conclusion, or season 5, but to me, I think season 6 would have been the best finale, because not only would it cap off Starlight's journey, but it would have actually made Twilight better than how she was in the first 5 seasons. It's like, do you even need to watch the first 5 seasons in order to have a good time? I mean, if you, like, want to, like, learn all about the lore and how the world, like, progresses and, like, what the characters go through, then I would say, yeah. Seasons 1 through 5 are definitely nice, but
you don't have to start at 1.
I mean, you probably don't have to start at 1 to have a good time. You could just, like, do whatever season you want. For me, personally, I'm kind of glad that Starlight was the first character who made me a fan, because I generally think she's definitely better than Twilight, because I think her voice is cuter. I think her design is more attractive. She has way more interesting character traits than Twilight, like having anxiety and anger problems and being a little bit nervous. Like, she's basically a mix between Twilight and Fluttershy, if you really think about it, because of her anxiety. Now, but anyways, I feel like Twilight did go through sort of the same stuff as Starlight, but I think she was mainly more of a dictator because, like, she's basically a bit controlling sometimes whenever, like, she wants people to do stuff her way. Which I think might be accurate. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong when I say this. But, I mean, Twilight isn't that bad of a leader per se. Like, she's more of a better mentor for Starlight Glimmer. And I still love that Twilight and Starlight have that relationship. Like, they are good friends, and they are definitely nice to. And I love that Starlight has her own bedroom in Twilight's castle, so she lives with her. And although Twilight was a bit overprotective
16.
for Starlight Glimmer when she was making friends with Trixie for the first time, because they do share a lot in common since they're both redeemed villains. I mean, I personally wouldn't probably blame Twilight. I don't know, like, because while yes, Trixie wasn't the nicest pony, but she does, all she wants is a friend, and she has gotten better. Like, I think she was only evil when she was wearing the Alicorn amulet in Magic Duel, which is definitely a nice and fun and epic episode, if I'm being honest, and it was nice that they brought back Trixie. And it's nice that she got more screen time in the later seasons. Even though, like, Starlight Glimmer has appeared way more. Now, what I will give the show credit for is not having Twilight appear in every single episode and actually making new characters appear for each episode. And
None of them appear in every episode, do they?
Yeah, that's what I love. And I do wish that's what other shows could have done, like, come up with new ideas and, like, have the characters not appear in every single episode.
Right.
Like, there are some shows where the main character will appear in, like, every single episode.
Yeah.
Like, take a look at SpongeBob, for example. I think he basically appears in, like, every single episode, and they basically just overuse the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the show does have a lot of funny moments, and definitely some nice animation.
But it would have been interesting if they did one, like, where SpongeBob was gone and everybody else interacted with each other without him.
I mean, yeah, like, it's the same thing with certain, like, movies. Like, whenever a sequel is made, the characters that you know and love will still appear, and they'll occasionally introduce new characters and write a new story. Anyways, now, I can't really cover anything else about Twilight. I don't know. Like,
You're at 18 if you want to start on the plush.
I think that's all I have to say about Twilight Sparkle. Yes, she is a bit basic for me. Like, she's the one I know the least. I mean, I know that Rainbow Dash is the athletic one. Pinkie Pie is the fun and energetic one. Fluttershy is the cute one.
They're like the Spice Girls of horses.
Applejack is the country pony who works at Sweet Uplikers. And I think Rarity is the most childish out of everyone because of how, like, how much of a drama queen she is. And Twilight is just the princess of friendship. But on the other hand, she's a good mentor for Starlight Glimmer, and if it wasn't for that, I probably would have considered Twilight to be actually bad. But it's thanks to that she's good. Oh, wait, let's talk about the actual plushie. Like, even though this wasn't on my Christmas list, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty cute. Like I said, they did capture a lot of detail into
Twilight. Yeah, the plushie
Twilight.
is cute, and it's soft like all the others and really well made.
And she is a bit different compared to the Starlight Glimmer plush since, I mean, the hair's a bit straight. Like, I will say the character design isn't probably one of the best ones I've seen, but it's not terrible.
It's cool how they have the cutout for her, the horn that goes through her hair.
I mean, she isn't as bad as some of the
Like,
other
for real.
characters with, because let's be honest, the Diamond Dogs are the super ugliest characters I've seen. Now, I think the main is supposed to be like indigo,
19, yep. Super, super, super dark blue.
but I mean, like, whenever I paint the 3 prints, I just make her this part dark purple instead of indigo. Now, I don't think I might redo that, because, like, it would, for real, like, it would take a lot of time, and I would have to, like, do this video again, and, like, have less more to say about Twilight, unless I'm, like, personally, I don't know if I can talk about Twilight without comparing her to Starlight Glimmer, because I think this has helped a lot. And, like I said, I do love the wings. Now, I don't know if they're supposed to be, like, the actual Alicorn wings, because they kind of look like Pegasus wings, in my opinion. Now, like, but what I will say, it would be nice to, like, have, like, I mean, like I said, I had this idea to make winter clothes for the ponies, and we've done, like, half of them so far, so I feel like that would spice Twilight up and make her a bit better.
20.
Anyways, so, that was Twilight Sparkle. Like I said, I really don't know what there is to say about her, except for the fact that she's a princess friendship. I mean, I do love her in
There's the hat, that's something.
I mean,
If you
like
gotta
I
be
said,
something.
she's kind of like an audience insert. Like, I mean, I don't know if there are any other basic protagonists in any other show, like, but I feel like Twilight is the most basic in my opinion, so. And like I said, Starlight will always be better in my opinion. But if you do like Twilight Sparkle, please tell me in the comments below. And if you could do a better character analysis for me, please tell me in the comments below. Because, like, I would like to know more about Twilight, except for being, like, Starlight's mentor. Because I think that's the best part about Twilight. And if you're excited for the Starlight Glimmer plush review, please tell me in the comments below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye!